Welcome, guys, to Bench Critics with Critique from the Bench. Today I got a really good topic. KG said some statements, and I want to address them and see about the NBA's game, how a lot of players can't play from 20 years ago. And I'm gonna read his quote now and tell what he said. Kevin Hart quoted. He said, "I don't think guys from 20 years could play in this game. 20 years ago, guys can use their hands to control players. Now you can't use their hands. That makes defense damn near impossible. Can you imagine not hand checking Michael Jordan? Right? The fact that you can't touch players gives the offensive player so much flexibility to spling. Defensive players have to take angles away and stuff like that. But if you have any creativity and ambition, you can be a great offensive player in the league." These are my thoughts on that. KG, Kevin Garnett, great player, great defensive player, one of the best players of all time. NBA champion with the Boston Celtics, one of the best young players. Right? I understand his take, and I think he's fair to make this take, Kevin Garnett. Right? But the one thing I don't think people are understanding is that in anything, is that everything evolves, everything gets better, technology gets better. A lot of things just improve, right? That means it's sometimes you watch this game, we get in awe. You see these players doing these amazing things, Steph Curry making these crazy three-point shots. You see these players like James Harden going to foul line 20 times, and just how do you do it so effortless, right? Right? But you can name it any sport. The game evolves. Basketball, football. Players were barely throwing 4,000 passing yards back in the days. Now these guys throwing 4,000 in their sleep, right? And you have guys doing 5,000 passing yards or 50 touchdowns, right? Any sport you can think of, the sport has evolved, right? Soccer, baseball, you name it, hockey, right? The sport evolves, right? And we also got to remember this. At one point, Oscar Robertson was averaging triple-double. We thought it would never, ever, ever be eclipsed. Well, it's rest of eclipsed that record, right? And there's a lot of things we never thought a guy like Steph Curry could ever play in the NBA and it actually worked. It's working. And a lot of players doing the same, right? The game evolves, right? And it's easy to say they can't do it because they haven't done it, right? But you got to remember, back then it was an old type of game. It was more of a defensive type of game, right? That means it was a more defensive type of game, of course, because you can hand check, right? But also, you got to look at this. The game was more in the post. You got a lot of big men that were dominating the game. Not so much no more. The postman is basically gone. It's like you basically see a post player really dominate the game, right? Without stretching the game out, right? And like I said, back then, the three ball was barely, you barely see a lot of players that specialize in threes back in those days and have a long career, right? But you look at most teams, you have 2 or 3 great shooters on your team, right? And you have big men like Jokic that can shoot the three, and you have a lot of great players, right? What I gotta say is, I understand his take, but let's break this down. He's right what he said about Michael Jordan. I think he actually contradicts himself, right? That you can't hand check Michael Jordan. But I think there's a lot of scores back then, you don't hand check them, they're much better. Like Michael Jordan would be averaging 40, 50 without hand check. He was averaging 30 consistently when people try to hand check him, right? And I think the league is evolving, right? And then soon the three balls is a thing right now. But in 5 or 10 years, it's going to be something else. It's going to be something new they're going to generate. And I'm like, wow, the next 10, 20 years, this person can't do this, right? But I think in every era, we got to be all of what has transpired, of what they have accomplished. And I totally disagree with Kevin Garnett. I think they can. It's just that the league didn't, at that time, the league didn't specialize on what they're doing now, right? Like who knows what, like, let's be real, who knows what Charles Barkley, Dominique Wilkins, Larry Bird, like Magic Johnson, with all these guys without hand checking, right? And probably those even middle pack players that weren't stars, they probably been stars without the hand checking, right? And like I said, it was a defensive game. It was hard to score. Right? Like you can see the videos of the bad boy Pistons guarding Jordan, and you see the Indiana Pacers, the New York Knicks, sometimes, right? And the game is hard. The game is very hard to play in, and I do understand Kevin Garnett's take, right? But right, I do think that they did hand checking for. I do think they took away hand checking because it's a more entertaining game to watch when you see more points scored. And that's what you see in football. Like more penalties are thrown, right? Because the game is about the quarterbacks and the offense, right? No one likes seeing a 9-3 football game. No one does, right? And I'll be real with you, like in today's type of sports, it's really hard to be a defender. It's really hard to be a defensive back, right? It's really hard to be like, defensive back or a safety, or you know what I'm saying, right? And right now, like, you could be the best defender on the team, and a guy can still drop 30 on you. Why? You might make it hard for him. You can contain him, but he's going to the foul line 15 times, 20 times, right? But that's my take on Kevin Garnett's opinion about 20 years ago. You don't think the guys from 20 years can play in this game? Of course they can. It's just the sport has evolved, right? And, we always have these arguments, debates where, oh, man, Michael Jordan wasn't a three-point shooter. Yes, he wasn't, because the game didn't exist. The three-point game wasn't dominating at that time, all right? But I want to thank you guys for watching Bench Critics. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please follow my YouTube channel. And holla.